order of service. The Old Testament is Isaiah the prophet, chapter 63, verses 7 through 9, and Psalms 148. Please take time this week and review those. It offers you a way to know the history of our faith. But it also offers you an opportunity to know the history of Judaism. And it even offers you an opportunity to understand the history of those who are of the Muslim faith. All three of our religions come from the same lineage. All three count Abraham as one of their fathers. Our New Testament readings are from Hebrews, the 2nd chapter, verses 10 through 18, and then Matthew, chapter 2, verses 13 through 23. Calvin, would you come and read our scripture from Matthew, please? And while he's coming up, know that it's not chronologically listed because he's going to be referring to something that's going to happen in 3 weeks. Next week is Epiphany, and that's when the wise men come, and that is when this takes place. So just before he begins reading, know that the wise men have already come. They've already gone to Herod. Herod has told them, "Oh, I'm so excited about this baby being born. When you find it, let me know. Come and tell me where the baby is because I want to come and honor it too." Not so. Okay, Calvin.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The reading today is from Matthew chapter 2, 13 through 23. And everyone knows that Matthew was the first book of the New Testament. Surname was Levi, and he was a tax collector for the Romans, and so Christ called him, and he followed. Would have been something to be called by Christ. Wow. The advancement of the boy. Now when they had departed, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, "Arise, and take the child and his mother, and flee to Egypt, and remain there until I tell you, for Herod is going to search for the child to destroy him." And he rose and took the child and his mother by night, and departed for Egypt, and was there until the death of Herod, that what was spoken by the Lord through the prophet might be fulfilled, saying, "Out of Egypt did I call my son." Then when Herod saw that he had been tricked by the Magi, he became very enraged, and sent and slew all the male children who were in Bethlehem and in all its environs, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had ascertained from the Magi. Then that which was spoken through Jeremiah the prophet was fulfilled, saying, "A voice was heard in Ramah, weeping in great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children, and she refused to be comforted, because they were no more." But when Herod was dead, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt, saying, "Arise, and take the child and his mother, and go into the land of Israel, for those who sought the child's life are dead." And he arose and took the child and his mother, and came to the land of Israel. But when he heard that the Archelaus was reigning over Judah in place of his father Herod, he was afraid to go there. And being warned by God in a dream, he departed for the regions of Galilee. and came and resided in a city called Nazareth, that was spoken through the prophets, might be fulfilled. He shall be called a Nazarene.
Thank you. So we're hearing the story of why they couldn't stay in Bethlehem. Because they were told and warned. Have you ever received a warning in your life? Okay. Tell me about some of your warnings that you've received.
Hurricane.
Hurricane warnings, yes.
The Valley Fire.
The Valley Fire,
Yes.
yes. Have you ever been warned about a person or a circumstance? As a friend, well, I won't share that one, sorry. But you know, sometimes we can get warnings about people. And sometimes nah. And sometimes you find that warning was so. Now, you might think that that's gossip or, well, you know, they're just concerned about themselves and it's not really something that I should be concerned about. But luckily, Joseph listened to the warning. Luckily, Joseph said, I'm here to protect this child. How many of you have been in a circumstance where you had to protect your child? Yeah. And you seek counsel sometimes when you get confused and you don't know, you feel frustrated and you don't know what to do. And so you say, who can help me with my child? And that's what happened with that infant. They felt it was not safe and felt it was important to go to a different land. Now, there's this guy running for election. His name is Pete Buttigieg. And he did a tweet about, because he's a Lutheran or something, and he did a tweet about Christ and Jesus being a refugee. And there were some people who just got all upset about them saying, what do you mean? Jesus was never a refugee. Well, that's just telling you that they're not really reading the history that has been given to us. Christ was a refugee. His parents took him out of that land where he was unsafe and took him to another land. They give us some information that's repeated several times. Joseph was told he must flee. How many times do we have to be warned before we listen? I mean, anybody remember being a child and your mother told you not to do something and you did it anyway? And then she'd tell you again not to do it and you do it anyway? And then the wrath came down. Listen, God is telling us to love one another. God is telling us to care for one another. God is telling us that we can live in peace. May we listen to the messages that God tells us. May we listen to the messages that we can care for those who cannot care for themselves. Or we can help them, give them a leg up. That's what we can do. One of the things that I saw on Facebook this past week was some church signs. And one of the signs had to do with, if your table is full, don't build a wall, build a longer table. Here at this church, we attempt to build a table that all people can be welcome to, that they can feel the love of God, welcome place to grow in love. Yes. Now, is everybody here magnificent and wonderful? No. Do some folks here get a little... Yes. Yes. But like I tell others, what would those people be like if they didn't have God in their lives? They'd be even worse. So we're all on this path of growing to love, forgive, to be in a joyful connection to one another, to be supportive of one another, to give thanks for each of our lives. And may we live those lives with God's love, understanding, and be willing to listen. This we give thanks for this day and every